Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, it's me Hesti Wigati. I like to present information and communication technology in English language teaching. And the topic is about reading, is about engaging students reading online learning. There will be 5 discussions in the presentation. The first one is the objective of learning. The second one is the application used in pre-reading activities. The next one is application used in whilst reading activities. After that, the application used in post-reading activities will be discussed. Finally, it will be wrapped by discussing application used for assessment and classroom management. Now let's come to the first discussion, that is the objective of learning. The objective of learning are divided into two, that are terminal objective and enabling objective. The purpose of terminal objective is to find out whether or not the lesson objective is achieved at the end of the learning process, while the enabling objectives are applied in every stage of learning. In online reading learning, 3 stages are applied, namely enabling objective in pre-reading activities, enabling objective in whilst reading activities, and enabling objective in post-reading activities. The terminal objective is student will be able to comprehend descriptive text, while enabling objectives in pre-reading activities are student will be able to complete the reading task successfully in flipped materials, and student will be able to mention what topic is going to be discussed. The enabling objectives in whilst reading activities are, the first one, student will be able to identify the topic of the descriptive text. The second one is student will be able to identify adjective in the descriptive text. The next one is student will be able to answer specific information from the descriptive text. And the last one is student will be able to identify generic structure and the purpose of descriptive text. And the last one, enabling objective in post-reading activity is student will be able to connect the topic of the text with the real life situation by describing their favorite title in the written form. Application used in teaching reading online are, the first one is Google Form, the second one is WhatsApp, the third one is Zoom. Next, there are Padlet and Jamboard, and then there is Booklet. After that, there are Kahoot and quizzes. Finally, there are online stopwatch, wheel of names, and no hand application for classroom management. Now, let's come to the second discussion, that is pre-reading activities. In the pre-reading stage, the application used are WhatsApp and Google Forms. The time allocation is 15 minutes. The activities are conducted through the WhatsApp application asynchronously. The teachers start the activity by briefing the students and asking about their condition. Then the teacher shares flip materials using Google Forms through WhatsApp. The flip materials consist of descriptive text and 10 questions in the form of true and false. The students are asked to read and answer the question. The objective of the flip material given is to activate the student's schemata, and the other objective of the activities in this stage is to make students mention what topic is going to be discussed. The next stage is whilst reading activities. The time allocation for this stage is 60 minutes. After the teacher and the student discuss the topic of today's lesson, the teacher sends the link of Zoom to invite the student to study synchronously. In the face-to-face session, the teacher shows the descriptive text. The teacher asks students to identify the topic sentence in the text using Booklet application. Every student can respond interactively by sending their answers through the Booklet link or QR code made by the teacher. The next activity is identifying adjective in the text. The Booklet is still used for this activity. The next activity, the teacher asks students to read the specific information from the text. The teacher set the time for 10 minutes for the students to read using an online stopwatch. After reading the text, the students are asked to answer the question about specific information from the text using the Kahoot application or the quizzes application. After that, the teacher and the student discuss the answers. So here is the feature from Kahoot application and quizzes application. Before we come to the post-reading activities, the teacher asks students to identify the generic structure of the text and what the social function of the text is. The activity is using the Padlet application or Jamboard application that also used that also used in post-reading activities. Finally, the post-reading activity, the teacher asks students to describe their favorite idol in written form using the Jamboard application or Padlet application. The time allocation for this test is 15 minutes. Here is the example of the students from the students writing about their idol using Jamboard application. And here is the Padlet application. For the student assessment, the teacher uses Google Forms application or Zoho application. The assessment is a reading text in the form of multiple choice. The topic of reading text is a descriptive text. The teacher send the Google form or Zoho form for assessment through WhatsApp. The last discussion is application used for classroom management. The application used are Nohen, Wheel of Names, and online stopwatch. Nohen and Wheel of Names application are used to pick students' name randomly to answer teacher's question, while online stopwatch is used to manage the time during student working the task in the class. Okay, that brings me to the end of my presentation. Hopefully you get benefit from this presentation. Thank you for your watching and see ya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.